10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Hello everyone, and welcome to another Mars4 game development AMA. We have a fuckload of cool stuff to show you related to PvP, total crafting system overhaul, the introduction of crafting robots, and I want to kind of go over what's been done and our roadmap in the near future of what's in production and what you guys will be seeing soon. And I am joined by our art detector, Spiros, who will be providing comic relief.
Like always.
Like always. So, first of all, Spiros, you're not sharing your screen anymore.
This is interesting. Yeah, probably because...
So, in the background, we have some of our community managers and some players building a cool base, which we'll use as nice B-roll. And as soon as Spiros gets back up, I can actually use this opportunity to show off one of the not really, not a massive new feature, but still a pretty cool one, where we're introducing a Skycam, which players can... amazing timing. Which players can use to take like screenshots and record videos and stuff. And so right now, actually, we have about a group of players building a small little town and wind farm, and I think they're building a solar farm in the background. And Spiros is just recording it with the Skycam, so we can make a cool like time lapse building image. And we also have George here sharing his screen, so we can jump to kind of in character view of what's going on. George, as always, is setting up the electrical systems. So let's get down to it. In terms of crafting, that's the first thing I want to jump into. The crafting overhaul, which some of you have, which has been discussed in the past recently, but we haven't really gone into much detail. We'll be launching quite soon. The first step of launching it will be what goes into the MCC with the Titans, the Titan Mark II, sorry. And the way this is going to work is we are adding multiple new machines in the crafting pipeline. And this is actually outdated, but it's kind of a simplified manner to be understanding it. So we'll be adding in terms of new categories of equipment, we'll be adding in armor, weapons, and robots.
I think you guys are going to have fun with the robots.
The robots are cool. I think we'll have a lot more fun with the robots than the robots have with us. And that's...
at least for the immediate future, right?
It's for immediate.
You never know.
So the So the way the new crafting system will work, you have what I referred to as tier 0, which is your tech before we introduce robots. So this is mostly what's in the game already. You have your portable fabricator, portable heaters, battery run stuff, etc. That's quite easy to produce. Up here, we'll be adding in a few elements to that. For example, like the hand crank energy cell charger and a basic oxygen tank filler, stuff like that. Oh wait, no, that's already in. Sorry, the survival heater I think is a new addition. And then from there, you will move on to this. Is actually like this one is easier to show. This is incorrect, so don't look at these links, but it's easier to kind of comprehend it than the actual like progression that's here. And then you'll move into the tier which is robot operated. So you will have, for example, the fabricator, which will now be used to produce other crafting stations, such as armor crafters, component crafters, power grid crafting machines, stuff like that. All of those machines and components related to that subcategory will be controlled by that machine. So for example, at the weapon crafted table, you'll craft weapons, you'll craft ammo, you'll also craft the components that are uniquely required for weapons. That's another, components is another huge overhaul that will be added, and I'll get into that a little bit later on. Let's start with just the machines and robots. So you will have a small fabricator, and you'll be able to start crafting these machines. But some of the recipes, the crafting recipes, will be locked behind a robot. So you'll need to find, engage, capture, bring back, and repair the robot, and then assign it to the fabricator to unlock some recipes. And other recipes you'll be able to build without the robot. However, its crafting price will be more expensive. So you're motivated to go off and find a robot. And I'll discuss capturing and repairing robots in a moment. And then there'll be some recipes that are just built normally with no restriction and normal price.
Hey, Nick, you might want to know it's dawn time.
Oh, shit. Nice, thank you.
I detected art.
Yes, you detected art. Good job. Oh, shit, sunrise looks awesome. So, oh, that's actually really cool. George is up on top of, you can see he's like over there on the left. That's actually an awesome silhouette of him.
Yeah, I see him.
Yeah. So, what was I saying? So each of these crafting stations will have a specific type of robot that can be assigned to it, and that will make it craft more efficiently and also unlock some recipes. As an example, for the small fabricator, the only recipe that will be locked behind a robot, so you actually need a robot to produce it, will be the tier 2 fabricator. Everything else you can produce, but it's cheaper if you have a robot. But to progress the next tier, you need to capture a robot and repair it. So capturing and repairing robots. I'll jump over to that quickly now. So what we will have is there will be robot AI enemies spread out across the environment. Okay, I had some work in progress videos of that. Let's see if I can find it in a few seconds. Environment maps, combat enemies. Crap.
And our sandstorm looks pretty cool, though.
It does. I really like the sandstorm. Okay, I don't have any easily accessible videos of the PvE combat, so you'll need to wait. I'll drop some leaks of that into the Discord leaks channel in a couple hours. So you'll have these NPCs, non-playable characters, like AI robots spread around the map. There'll be many different types, so like weapon crafting robots and power grid machinery crafting robots and fabricator robots. Like these are all different types of robots that specialize in no different recipes, but they were abandoned on Mars long before the colonists arrived. They were the first robotic colonization attempt, which failed. And I won't go too much more into it than that for the moment, but there's a lot more lore leaks that will be coming about that. And those robots, you can fight with them. They will obviously try and kill you. They are hostile. If you destroy one of them, you can harvest some components and items from it. But you can also deactivate them, which is quite significantly harder to do. You have to first damage them, and then once they're within about 25% of once they only have 25% health remaining, then you can stun them with a special weapon. And then once stunned, they are incapacitated for, at the moment, 30 seconds, but like gameplay testing may change that. And in those 30 seconds, you can run up pick up the multi-ton robot and put it into your backpack, and then leave. Take that damaged robot back to a base, set it up in a robot reprogramming machine, which looks really cool. Wait, let me. This is my favorite machine so far.
These do look cool, yeah.
These are super fucking awesome. So these are the 3 different tiers. I think this is a bit of an older screenshot. Like it may look, your mileage may vary. It may look a bit different once it finally gets in the game. But you take your captured damaged robot, you hook it up in one of these 3 machines, and it will be repaired, and you put in the required resources, and it will be repaired and reprogrammed for you to be able to assign it a task.
It's important to note these are all Eddie's work, by the way. Like I
Yes.
was not on board with this idea to begin with, and he was like hold on, let me run with it, and then
I remember when you showed me the first whip, which actually we don't have anymore here.
Yeah.
But I remember you showed me the first whip, and I could tell by the way you wrote it that you were like, I know that this is going to be denied, but I'm like asking it for procedure.
Yeah.
Are you okay with this? And I was like, yeah, fuck it. That's awesome. Run with it.
And there you go.
So once you have a damaged captured robot, you'll bring it back to your robot repairing machine, put in the required resources, and set it to repair and reprogram the robot you just captured. Once it's completed, you can assign that robot to, you can assign that robot to a crafting machine or to a workbench, better said. Each type of robot is specialized in a specific task. At the moment, the first generation of robots that were released are all related to crafting and manufacturing tasks, but we are working on robots that will be like just specifically guard robots. And that's actually a question that people ask in the AMA, which I'll address now. We're not going to be introducing, like, at least right now, we don't have turrets in production. I'm not against the idea, like automated turrets, but what I would rather introduce first, and let's see if the community agrees that that addresses the problem, is guard robots. So specifically combat-focused robots that you capture and repair, and then instead of assigning them to a crafting bench or a fabricator, you just tell them, like, you put them in a location, you give them ammo, and say, like, guard this spot. And they just look menacing and kick-ass. There will also be non-specific robot jobs. So you have a specific robot job, which, for example, is repairing and upgrading robots. If you've captured and upgraded or purchased a robot reprogramming, a robot repairing robot, we don't have a title for that one yet. Okay. If you have repaired the robot repairing robot, then you can assign the repaired robot repairing robot to the robot repair station. And then you put your unrepaired robots in the robot repair station to be repaired, managed by the repaired robot repairing robot.
I am in awe of your skills to say all that.
I stuttered on the last one. I almost pulled it off. So yeah, and if you have the robot, if you have this thing, then this thing is better. But it can function without this thing. But the general mechanics behind recipes, like the stuff we're adding, is you have the recipes that exist like we have right now. Base recipe requires stuff, give it the stuff, tell it to craft, and you get a new thing. And we're adding two new methods of gating recipes, which is some recipes get cheaper if you have the right robot assigned, and other recipes get unlocked if you have the right robot assigned. Then there's also different, like, so here's the robot, the toolmaking station, yeah. Then we also have another job type, which is non-specific tasks, or what we're currently referring to as labor tasks. So, for example, garage doors, automated airlocks, and most other like automated machinery, we want to require a robot. So, but they don't require a specific one. So the idea is, let me Is there a way I could share like multiple? Because I don't want to. Because that's really cool. That video. I don't want to like get rid of it. But anyway, I'll jump back to Miro for one second.
What is that guy building up there in the back though? Interesting. Someone's doing something back there.
Is that George? Let's see. What's George doing? No, it's not George. George is building something completely out of frame, I think.
It's probably some guy from the community.
Yeah. So let me jump back to Miro quickly. Shit, I forgot what I was saying.
Sorry.
No, this is alright. I'll go back to the cool background while I try to remember what I was saying. Yeah, I have no idea what I was saying. Sorry. Oh, labor tasks. Yes. So you have a small fabricator. You've captured a fabricator robot. So you have a small fabricator. You captured a tier 1 fabricator robot. You've repaired him, upgraded him. Not upgraded, but you've captured him, you've repaired him, and you've assigned him to your fabricator. But then once you progress to tier 2, there's less necessity for this. So what you can do is this tier 1 fabricator robot, like once you have a tier 2 fabricator robot, which is harder to get, and I'll get into like rarity of different robot types and how you capture them and increase risk a bit later, like with the PvE segment. But with once you've upgraded, you have this tier 2 fabricator robot, you can use the tier 1 fabricator robot to do like labor tasks around your base. So that way, like even your older tier 1 robots, they don't lose their value, they don't become useless. You just give them other tasks. Yeah, so let's jump back to here. That's cool. I do love the shadows cast by those wind turbines, the little bulls. Oh, the little 3D printer going there, but little. It's fucking like 2 meters by 3 meters, but still. What was I saying? Okay, so I think that covers the basics of robots and how you assign them. Now, I want to get a little bit into the theming of robots, because this was quite a fun task. We had a lot of fun with this one. So we were thinking these robots are, first of all, broken in some way. You fix them. Like they were sent to Mars to colonize Mars and prepare it for humans. That failed, not going any deeper into that. But then you're capturing them, repairing them, and reprogramming them. And you're assigning them to very menial tasks. Like a robot that was sent to be a fully self-sufficient robot that is able to do countless things to colonize Mars. Is now just being. Oh, someone has a Cybertruck. God damn. Hello, big spender. I do fucking love the Cybertruck. Like that look. I'm really proud of that. The problem I didn't do anything for it, but it does just look super cool. Anyway, sorry. Lost my place again. Saw cool stuff. Lost my place.
The funny thing is, I was trying to remember what you were saying because I knew it was, and I forgot as well.
It's not your job. That wasn't art to be detected.
Yes.
What we need is a detector of community management or a detector of public relations. So we say, no,
basically, robots came to Mars and we can't talk about it.
Yeah. Oh, no, I thought I almost had it. I didn't. Damn it. Oh, yes. So the attitude of robots. So we wanted to do something a bit fun because Mars is like, as you all know, like it's a fairly serious, scientifically inspired experience and gameplay. Fuck. Okay, I got it. But we wanted to add like something unique, something flary, something memeable, because nowadays like you need something memeable. And that's where it kind of led into the idea, if these robots are effectively sentient, but if you imagine a robot that was sent to colonize Mars on its own and was free to do as it was, and then stop doing what it was told to do, and now you've captured it and somehow forced it to like use a fabricator that the player could probably use, but the robot just knows how to do it better. That's actually kind of a silly situation. So we decided to really run with that idea in terms of the theming of robots, and just try and make their animations a bit comical and ridiculous. So I'll start out with the cooking station. So it's not actually called, like, I don't think we've actually named it cook prep station, but here is where you make stuff like bandages and food and purifying water and that whole cooking and crafting pipeline that we'll be introducing. And here is the robot and its animation for operating it. That's it. He pushes a button. You need to go out into a sandstorm, risk your life, get shot at by hostile robots, capture a robot, put it in your backpack, carry it back to your base and repair it so he can just sit on the counter and push a button. This one actually I hadn't seen until it was sent today. At least he's polite. He waves at you. And if you tell him to craft something, it's just, yeah, I got it. And these robots.
The basic idea behind that was they were like somehow Wi-Fi'd into the device, but humans needed, like, that's how I thought of them. Like, but humans needed these devices originally, like the interface things. So these robots don't actually need the interface, but they do need to eventually press a button. So they're just sitting there like, okay, good. I've done everything, but you guys have built this redundant thing. Fine.
And we will, the robots will also be voice acted and interactable. So like, I remember like when we first started concepting this idea, the scene behind it in my mind, and when actually I recorded that first voice line, I don't have it with me. But I remember it was quite funny. Like, we were trying to figure out like, what's the character? I was like, how can we make them really unique and interesting? And it was like a really deep robot voice that said like, I cost the United Nations $16 billion, and now my purpose is to open door and close door. Well done, human. And that robot, like, he would be a labor job that just worked an automatic door. And as you walk through it, like every 100th time you walk through the door, the robot would say something like that. And I think that will add a nice like comic relief to the game and some fairly entertaining moments. I believe this was actually one of the first robots. Wait, I'll pause this for a second. So this is the refiner robot. Here is the tier 1, 2, 3 refiners. These are old screenshots, as you see in the video. It's looking different, but that's the refiner robot, and this is his refining animation.
Just get it out there.
So yes, we'll be, as you can see, we've been having a lot of fun with the robots and their animations. I think this one's still my favorite. This way, he looks almost like gleeful about it. Like he's cool with this. He's not complaining. You're like this guy just looks fucking dead to the world. It's like, please fucking put a neural spike through the back of my skull. Like, for the love of God, make the pain and suffering end. But this guy, like, he's cool. Like, he's in it. It's like, yeah, I'll make you a sandwich. Beep.
You need to see the other ones. We haven't made cool videos for them yet, but I think you're gonna love them.
You showed me. Try to remember. Yeah, I've seen some whips from you guys, but I'm still missing a lot of them.
There's the Zen meditation guy. That one's my favorite.
I saw a screenshot of the Zen meditation guy in Slack, but I'm looking forward to seeing the animation for it.
I'm just playing with the theme of, like, these robots have basically, they're sentient. They figured out how to be in peace with themselves to the point where they can achieve meditative levitation, right? and you have them operate a machine. So they're just levitating there, and then they operate the machine. They drop to the ground, they press a button, and then they levitate again.
No, I think it's.
I would show you some things, but because I'm also recording this, my computer's
Yeah, that's
lagging.
not. Oh, that. Do we want to tell them the horror story? Like, I felt for you, dude. Like, when you told me that, my heart fucking wrenched. So
Go for it.
This scene that you're seeing here, we tried yesterday. We got like 5 or 6 people together, and we're doing this same thing where we
I sent
set
you a
up this
screenshot.
stuff. Yeah.
Show them the screenshot.
Where's yes, you did. Discord.
So we got to a point where it wasn't this involved because we didn't have the community on. We only had like 2 people doing it, but they spent hours, man. They spent like 4 hours. And I was recording on NVIDIA, the NVIDIA thingy, which ended up capturing the wrong
Here's a
screen, even though I
screenshot
tested
from
it.
Yeah. Here's the screenshot. So they spent like how many hours?
I don't know, like 5, 6 hours.
Oh my god.
And you can see it had like a better, like the solar panels looked better here because it was a closer shot.
Yeah.
Now they're kind of distant, but it is what
I mean,
it is.
It still looks
Sometimes
really cool. Like, but this
does.
is a pretty awesome shot. So they spent like 6 hours recording a video like we're doing now of this shot, only to find out at the end that it was recorded the wrong fucking monitor the whole time.
Yep.
After testing it. And everything. I've had that with Shadowplay and like NVIDIA replays like so often. What's George doing?
Lesson learned: use OBS, right? You can see what's recording right there.
Yeah, that's fucking tragic. But this is something that I want to actually put out to the community. We haven't started it yet. Like, it's not an official thing because like we have so much stuff going on with launching of like the Mars battle and shoot token and stuff. But very soon we will be running a community event. Like, marketing doesn't even know about this yet, but I will make them run a community event that will be a build-in competition, but it will be a build-in competition related to getting footage like we're doing now. Where is no here? Nighttime. Nighttime is really actually nighttime is cool when you have enough people running around with flashlights.
Yeah.
So a build-in competition where the goal is to use the free cam, which, by the way, you get into, like, it's not officially launched yet. It's kind of buggy. And once you enter free cam and you go back to your character, there's like some bugs and stuff. So you need to like log out and log back in again. That's why it's not officially released. But you can enter free cam by pressing number like 50 times on the number pad. Or is it 5?
5, and it's not 50, it's 10. We're not insane.
Yeah. If you press 5 on the number pad 10 times, then you enter free cam mode and like you have free cam moving around and stuff. And if you press 4 on the number pad, you go back to your character view. But when you do that, there are some bugs, like weapons don't reload anymore. And
yeah, you walk funny. It's just
you walk a bit funny, like. But if you just log in it back, like out and back in again, it's fine. But that's why it's not like officially released yet.
Most of those problems happen when you move your camera far away from your body, so that the game like teleports you back to your character, and it's like, what's happening?
Yeah.
But we'll sort it out.
But yeah, that's why it's not an official feature yet. Probably in the next patch or the one after it will be. But I do want to run a building competition where community is maybe like a clan-based competition, where a clan like has someone set up and record like in a cool perspective and position, and then the rest of the team just go build something, and then that video, like, we fast forward it down to like 1 minute and give away some awesome prizes for that, because it's a lot of work to make these videos and we need the community's help. Let me see what George is doing. Okay, oh wow, I haven't even scratched the surface of what's going on. So, as I was discussing, with the addition of robots, where you're going to find robots, they'll be spread all over the map. There'll be 3 tiers of robots, of Titans. Higher tiers will have better weapons on them, which means they're a lot more dangerous. They have more health, better armor, and are more aggressive. Their AI is more aggressive. But like if you want to be able to craft tier 3 weapons, you have to try and find a tier 3 robot, or purchase a Titan Mark II Warforge. But I'll get into those next because there's other cool stuff that they do that isn't available on the Titan Mark I's that you find within the game. So the tier 1 robots you'll find spread out all around the map. Normally robots will come in clusters, so you'll have like a couple mobbed together, making it harder to capture them. And the tier 1s will be fairly easy to find. There is a large variety of robots though, so let me go back and show my other screen. Sure. Okay. So as you can see, right now, when we launch robots, we're launching with 9 of them. Let me go through here. Oh, this guy's fucking cool. I love this guy. He has a real like anime vibe to him. What animation is he? Actually, I haven't seen his. Has this been done yet?
I'm sure it has. Yes, it has. I just don't.
He's the
remember
power
off the
grid
top of my head.
manufacturer, dude. Okay. This may be too memey, but if he's the power grid manufacturer guy, do we want to add 2 little like plugs on the end of those guys? Like he is just a walk-in fucking extension cord or multi-plug.
That's a good idea. I had not thought of this. Okay.
I just thought of it right now looking at him. And that guy is that weapon manufacturer? Yeah. Weapon crafting table. So that's the tier 1 Warforge.
I call this guy the clown. If you see it, you can't unsee it.
Yeah, I see it. And then this guy we showed, fabricator. And then we have carpenter. Obviously, that's going to be renamed to something, but this is like chairs, tables, decorations, etc.
Yep.
And then refiner, food processing guy. That's tools and repair, and or is armor. Oh, armor is missing the robot. Yeah, we haven't finished producing him, but
so a bunch of new shit, basically.
A fuckload of new shit. So the tier 1s will be fairly easy to find. They'll be spread out all around the map. Tier 2s will be a lot rarer, and they will be far more common inside of the sandstorm. So, and the sandstorm will be PvP areas. As it was already announced in the patch and explained, but the theming is there is no war on Mars. Mars is an ideal future society for humanity where everyone's working together while the satellites can see you. Inside of a sandstorm, 2 people walk out, 2 people walk in, 1 person walks out, like who knows what happened, Sandstorms are dangerous places. So inside of sandstorms, there is no security and regulation on combat, and that is where colonists can freely kill each other. Makes them quite risky areas, but that's also where tier 2 robots are far more commonly found, although you can find them outside of sandstorms. And tier 3 robots are almost exclusively found in sandstorms and are very rare. So
because they're hiding from the satellites too,
Because the tier 3s are the smartest ones, obviously. They know what they're doing. The tier 1s are fucking retards. They have no idea what's going on. Like, this is the tier 1 robot. This is the intelligence levels we're talking about here. So tier 3s will be very hard to find. And remember, there's also so many different types that finding a specific tier 3 will be a long-term goal. We don't expect all players to find them, or we don't expect all players to find them in short amounts of time. I guess eventually
you say that, but you know what happens when developers say that, right? 2 weeks later, everyone has it.
That was actually one of my favorite best quotes. Not only quote, but it was head of balancing at Riot Games. Was doing a panel at GDC, and like they were doing questions, and they were talking more about it's GDC, so they're talking like for game developers more, and there was like technical stuff. But obviously, like a fan of Riot Game, a very salty fan of League of Legends, like got in the queue to ask a question, and his question was like, how, if you have like such a big budget and like so many players, can you like be that shit at balancing? And like just straight up said that to him. And like he laughed about it, he didn't take it personally or anything, but his response was actually really good. So like he went through, it's like in our like balancing team, we have like, I don't know, like 70 developers. And we have this much time to balance a new hero. So let's say like 1 month to make maths easy. I don't remember what the number was. And I don't remember like the number of people. It wasn't 70, but let's say that. So that means that like the maximum we can do is 70 man months of playtesting. And when we launch a new hero, within the first 8 minutes, there is 300 man months of gameplay that is played on that hero. So it's like 8 minutes. It's fucking nuts. So obviously like what we're saying is like we do the best we can with that time, and that's why like League of Legends Champions always have a balance patch like a week or two after launch, because like in 1 week of the public playing it is like 10,000 times times more matches played with that hero than what a QA team could ever manage, or a balancing team. I don't remember why I started that story. Oh, the tier 3 robots will be hard to find. Yeah. We are limiting the number of them per map, so there'll be very few on a map, and they will be quite rare and only inside of Sandstorm. So it's a very high risk environment to be looking for them. And yeah, I don't remember. I'm not sure what my final point was there. So in terms of, yes, that's process of capturing them. Crafting. So as I mentioned, let me, Spiros, remind me, sunrise.
Sunrise.
Detect art.
Right.
So this is the new crafting process. So what we start out with is the raw resources that we currently have on the MCC. All of those will be added into the 3D game, and some of them will be renamed a bit. So for example, iron is being renamed to iron ore because it gets refined into stuff, sulfur into sulfur oxides, and excuse me. The way you should look at it is these raw resources are not pure raw iron. It's iron ore or sulfur oxides. Like inside of 1 kilogram of sulfur oxide ore that's mined, you have lots of other components within it. There is sulfur, yes, and that's obviously the majority component, but there's also a lot of other components in there, a lot of byproducts that can be very useful. So that's where the different tiers of the refining come in. So at each tier, you have byproducts that are found within different ores. So for example, copper, tin, lithium, and cobalt are the byproducts of tier 1. So if you have a tier 1 refiner and a tier 1 refining robot, so this guy, and when you refine or smelt, in the case of iron, let's say, from iron ore into iron ingots, what you'll get is 10 iron ingots, and also iron gives you 3 tin. Okay. So as tin is a very common byproduct or secondary product in iron ore, so what you'll get when you smelt your iron ore, you will get 10 iron ingots and 3 tin ingots. As you tech up and have higher tier refiners, you will get access to different types of byproducts. However, you don't, there is different refining recipes to get to focus on extracting maximum of a specific byproduct. So once you're at tier 3 and you go to refine iron, you can elect, do you want to refine to get 10 iron ingots and 1 vanadium as your byproduct, or do you want to get 10 iron ingots and 2 phosphorus, which is K? No, K is potassium.
K is potassium.
Yeah. Oh, I live in like the evil. Oh, what was that Rick and Morty episode where like they find another universe and everything is totally fine, like it's completely perfect, this universe, except they pronounce Parmesan Parmesan, and they're like, nope, fucking just nuke it, unlivable. So if you have a tier 3 refiner, you can, and you want to refine iron, you can elect between focusing on getting vanadium, getting potassium, or getting tin. And that depends on what components you'll be needing. So components are a middle, are a in-between crafting element. So here you have like circuit boards, plastics, welding rods, high temperature tool steel, stuff like this. And these elements, these items, components, are crafted in the component crafter. So this thing with this robot. And these are general components here. This middle row are general components which are used in everything. So like carbon steel frames are used in everything from building to some types of armors to some types of weapons. They're just generic components. Higher tier components can require lower tier components as well. Like liquid state motherboards will require some vanadium, microchips, which is a tier 2, I believe, or microchips tier 1. Where are microchips? Yeah, so microchips is tier 2 component, and then they require plastic, which is a tier 1 component. Yeah, so you will. This kind of complicates the resource pipeline. You'll need to think like what kind of raw resources and refined resources and byproducts you want to focus on, depending on what you're crafting. And then also you have the final workstations. So for example, with weapon crafting, the weapon crafter produces some of its own byproducts, like the tier 3 weapon crafter or warsmith, like the Titan Mark II, like the Titan Mark II robot that you can craft with on the MCC. I'll get into that more next, just running through the basis of it here. It is able to craft a series of generic or specific weapon components, such as electromagnetic coils, bilinear motors, smoothbore barrels, stuff like that. And these components are used specifically for tier 3 weapons. Now, within tier 3 weapons, within all tiers of weapons, there's 5 basic weapon types. You have a pistol, an SMG, a assault rifle, a sniper rifle, and a shotgun. Each tier have those 5 base weapon types. In the future, we may add more base weapon types, or we may add them as unique legendary weapons, which is what we've done with the Warforge. So the unique Warforge NFT, which you can purchase on the Mars4 website in the MCC, that in addition to being able to produce all the basic stuff that all tier 3 weapon crafters can produce, oh, whoops, wrong button. It can also produce a unique DMR and a unique SMG, and which are these two. So, it's fucking Greek, so you should know.
I don't. Sorry.
Let's fucking Google this. Let's figure this out. Are the gods of rivers and streams in Greek mythology?
Jesus Christ, no, it's Potami. Okay.
Potami, yeah, Potami. What did he? Yeah, Potami. Oh, Potomi. There's an A there.
Here, you see, like, this is how game development works. Like, someone does something and then you go, oh, wait, what?
Yeah.
This is Greek. No, it's not.
It was Greek. It was Greek until you analyzed that it wasn't, in fact, Greek.
Fair enough. All right.
Wait, let me update your title. You have been promoted.
Greek art director
No,
detector.
exactly. Wait, no, that's right. Oh, yeah, let's do this. Art and Greek detector.
I am ecstatic. Does this reflect on my salary as well? Wait, I don't
No.
want to know.
No, it does not reflect in your salary. However, we could release a new token. So the yeah. So that, let me just jump back. Show something
20
cool in the
seconds to
background.
sunrise.
Cool. I'm already back. So that's the basic flow of the expanded crafting system. The idea is to add a lot more intermediary components, which are crafted by different robots and different systems to add a bit more scarcity and utility to all the different resources you have. There's also, this is a cool way we've added more value to some of the stuff that the users didn't really understand the value in yet, like regolith, for example. Ooh, sunrise is nice. So the resource of regolith, what's unique about regolith is that you get more byproducts than when you refine other types of resources. So there is actually a lot of value in regolith, especially if you're focusing on like high value components and stuff, because that's where you get a majority of your lithium and stuff like that is actually through sifting regolith. Also, clay is very high in copper, so another great way to get copper. So regolith and clay actually end up being quite high value resources for higher tech components, as like copper and lithium are cornerstones to that. And then we also have sulfur as well. Sulfur oxides, like that raw ore has a lot of byproducts that come through it. God damn, I love that sunrise, man. I'm really happy with the way the sandstorm turned out. It's really cool, and it's also quite like enjoyable in terms of the gameplay. Because what we were thinking, how we add PvP combat. Sorry for like jumping all over the place. But how we add PvP combat is we want to focus on like allowing players to have the experience that they want. And so we need to include PvP for people who want that higher risk, higher reward environment, but we needed to come up with a way to do it that it doesn't interfere on people who just like building. Mm-hmm. So the way it's already full daytime. So the way we decided to do that is with these sandstorms where, and they won't just be, at the moment, the sandstorm just covers a third of the current multiplayer map. However, we will be introducing different types of sandstorms, like more localized, like sand tornadoes that move across the map and stuff like that, which means that these zones of high value robots and PvP content is a bit more all over the place, and it's not always focused. But the major sandstorms on the one side of the map does also allow it's something that I actually first experienced in RuneScape like 25 years ago. Did you ever play RuneScape, Spiros?
Nope.
Really?
Nope.
So they have the wilderness, and the idea is basically the wilderness is the PvP zone, but the deeper into the wilderness you go, the higher risk and higher reward. Because what it was, the way they did it was the PvP was like based on level differential, and the deeper you went into the wilderness, the more level difference was allowed to fight with each other. This was like 20 years ago. I don't know how it's done now. But the cool thing about that is that like the deeper you went, the scarier it got. And we didn't like, we're not locking stuff like level difference or anything like that. Like inside a sandstorm, you can fight each other. Outside, you can't. But the kind of the value or the way we kind of capture that same mechanic is obviously the closer to the border you are, you can probably get out pretty fast. Like even if someone ambushes you, as long as you're like attentive, you can probably get out of the sandstorm fast enough to not die. But if you go really deep in and and you get ambushed and you're not prepared for it and you're not like head on a swivel, then like it's very, very risky. So to add that kind of, the deeper in you go, the higher risk it is style of gameplay is done that way. let me talk a bit about crafting on the MCC. So that will be launching very, very soon. And robots that are NFT robots that are purchased through the MCC, such as the Titan Mark IIs, community managers, if you can post a link to the Titan Mark IIs in chat, would be appreciated. And I will get to all of chat's questions soon, but there's just like so much fucking development announcements to go through first, and then I'll get to everyone's questions. I have the PDF of all the questions that people posted on Discord, and then I also PDF the Google Sheet, and then I also will run through the comments on the different chat platforms and stuff. Yeah. So if you purchased a MCC, if you purchased an NFT robot on the Mars Control Center on the website, and you're holding that robot, you are able to craft components, and at the moment, you're able to refine resources, craft components, and craft weapons, and trade them on the marketplace. So this will go live in the next couple of days. The functionality is all done and tested, and right now I'm just going over the final touches of the crafted recipes and balance. So the value there in capturing a robot in the 3D game versus purchasing an NFT robot is that if you capture a robot in the 3D game, it will be a generic robot, so it won't have access to the legendary recipes like the Warsmith does, or the legendary or the refiner or crafter Titan Mark IIs also have improved recipes over the base. The refiner, I believe, produces additional lithium, so it's more efficient at producing a lithium byproduct. And the crafter produces, I think, more efficient. He has a couple recipes that are more efficient than the standard. So you have those unique recipes, but also more importantly, because it's on the MCC, you can set it to be crafting and refining raw resources, crafting them into components, fabricated weapons and armor and stuff like that in the future. And like constantly, just from your phone, you can be managing that production process. Whereas the robots that you capture in the 3D game, you will need to actually like interact with them, set them up, have them be crafted and stuff like that. However, in addition to that, the purchased robots on the MCC, you will also be able to use in the 3D game. So you can, like, first of all, you can use their decorations, like their uniform. Like right now, George actually has the skin of the Titan Mark II. So in the 3D game, owning those NFTs unlocks their skin, which is, in my opinion, the coolest one. Yeah, so there's the Titan Mark III that George showing off. And that's the Warsmith, right? Yeah, that's the Warsmith. So you get the skins that you can use in the 3D game, and you also get the and you also get them as a robot that you can apply on machines to passive aggressively cook your food. Although in the case of Warsmith, it will be passive aggressively make your weapons. Wait, is the weapon crafting one? Is that the one where he just hits the bench frantically?
Yep.
Yeah, that was cool. I only saw like an early whip gif of that, but that was pretty funny. Let me just jump back into. Oh wow, that phallic building erected very quickly. So purchasing robot NFTs allows you to use them more just because you're able to run them from the MCC. You're able to run it from your phone, from our website, and be crafting stuff constantly there. Also, you can benefit a lot more from the marketplace because there is right now resources on the marketplace are incredibly undervalued because there hasn't been many burn mechanics for them. Like the burn mechanics have mostly been just building stuff in the 3D game. But with the addition of crafting and weapons, all of which is tradable on the marketplace, there'll be a lot more burn mechanics. I foresee a lot more demand and value on resources. And you do not need all three robots to produce stuff if you want. So for example, you could, let's say you only want to purchase the Titan Mark II crafter, so the one that makes the components. Even if you don't have any lands and haven't been mining any resources or anything, you could still buy the refined resources off the marketplace, craft them into components, and then sell those components back on the back on the marketplace at a profit. It doesn't cost you anything to craft. So like operating the Titan Mark IIs in the MCC, like it doesn't cost you any Mars4, nothing like that. You're able to craft to your heart's content. There's no fees, nothing like that. Just the foundational fees of the marketplace, which generate revenue for all landowners. So yeah, or also, for example, maybe if you only want to be refining resources, once again, like if you have a crap ton of resources you've gathered over the past months and years, or not years, but past months, I don't remember when resource crafting launched, but then you could, for example, just be refining them into their refined forms and then selling those refined resources. And people who want to just be crafting components can be purchasing those refined resources, crafting them into components, selling them back on the marketplace for a markup. And you could have people who, for example, are only interested in building weapons. So they could just buy the components they need off the marketplace, craft them into weapons, or including unique weapons like the Titan Mark II Warsmith could be crafting its unique weapons, selling them back on the marketplace for people to gain access to. And you're also able to transport everything, the weapons, components, all of that. Oh, via drop pod. Perfect fucking timing. You're able to transport all of those weapons to the 3D game via the. Did you organize that, Spinos?
Nope.
You should have said yes. Like that would have been Ray's word.
No,
that
I will
was
not
fucking
lie.
amazing timing.
I organized the big phallic building in the background, but not that.
That was so perfect timing. George is flying around. Oh, there's no drop pod incoming. Nice. So you're able to order any of the resources or components that you've crafted on the MCC. You're able to order them into the 3D game via these drop pods. And there is also, like, I guess this is something most of you already know, but while playing the 3D game, based on your progression, you also get like airdrops, literally airdrops of resources, components, tools, stuff like that. Okay, I think that covers, like, God, there's so much content, like so much stuff we've been doing lately. So just trying to summarize, the next updates that will be coming out will be launching first the initial PvE. So the addition of, oh wow, everyone's calling in fucking airdrops. I love it. Honestly, I really love how the drop pods turned out. They turned out really cool. And I was like basically all Dennis. Oh, well, everyone's calling in drop pods.
They look like angry faces. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, that was honestly like I mean, everyone put in great work. Like the design of the drop pods and stuff, like, were fucking awesome. Like you did a great job. Eddie produced them really well. But like the final touch of how they, oh my god. This is awesome.
Oh.
Dude, that right there, we make a GIF of this and give it to marketing, and that, like, every time we say airdrop, we use this GIF. This is fucking amazing.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my god.
I like how they're not hitting the bill. Oh, never mind.
No, never mind. We're just smashed into something else. So,
God.
That's so fucking cool. That was fucking well done, guys. Well done. That was awesome. Oh yeah, you can actually see the drop pod up in the front of the stream there. You see the angry face design on it. So yeah, while playing the game, based on your progression, based on building and exploring and increasing your productivity score of your land, you get a series of airdrops that give you tools and other resources and stuff like that. And you'll notice, I don't know if you will have noticed, but there's two types of drop pods. You have the ones that come from the MCC, the Mars Control Center, which is our website where you're able to also mine and explore. And like there's a whole game in that in itself. But you are, so you can call them from the MCC, which is stuff you buy and trade on the marketplace, and which will now also be like weapons and components and stuff like that. Or then you have the airdrops based on your progression, which within the game, which is a smaller drop pod that looks a bit different. The one in the foreground right here is the big one, which is I think for MCC resources. Or is it the other way around? Is the small one the MCC resources and the big one is the... Wait, let me actually just check. Let's see what's inside. Is he going to open it or is he just going to harvest it? Okay. Never mind. And now George feels super guilty. I know him. He's like, oh, fuck. What did he pick up? Oh, Titan. And no. That was from the MCC. Okay, so he did actually figure it out. Yeah. So that was an MCC. Yeah, the big ones are the MCC drop pods. Small ones are the player progression airdrops. And also, nice little bonus, whenever you do call down something from the MCC, you can harvest the drop pod afterwards. They are very much intended for single use.
Yeah, I remember originally trying to design them to go back up in space, using Mars's reduced gravity and having like a thruster take it back up, and then Nick saying, why? Just break it down for resources and everybody wins. Like, yeah, but that's not as cool from a design perspective, the world building, the stuff like that. So Nick is like, yeah, but it's gameplay. I'm like, yes, it is. God damn it. That's why you have that job.
You detected the art, and I detected the game development. Let's see, what's George doing? Of course. Every time I spectate George, he's always doing something with the wiring system. Yeah. But honestly, there is a pattern. In my opinion, every single system that Dennis was assigned to implement is fucking awesome. Like, I don't know if it's just that he gets the cool tasks. For people who don't know, Dennis is one of our game developers, like one of our engineers, senior engineer actually. But every task he gets, like, they are both the coolest ones, but also what he does with them just end up super fucking satisfying. Like, he did the drop pods, and that was just a side task of his. Like, that wasn't really complicated, but he wanted to do it. And so he added in all the little details, like the chute opening, the way like it kind of like sways back and forth, the way it breaks, and then retro thrusters and all that, like as it's landing. He also did the whole wiring system. And the test that I gave Dennis when I first was looking at hiring him, because Dennis is actually one of the few people who I haven't worked with before. Like, for people who don't know, most of the team here, like, I've been in game development for now like 16 years. Most of the team are people who I've worked with on previous games. And like Spinos and I, like, we met while working with Wargaming. And then we had like other people, just people we've worked on projects with that we knew were good and brought them on. But Dennis was one of the ones who I didn't know before. And so I gave him a task that I didn't have a solution for, even, of how to design the airtight system for buildings. For people who don't know, because I see we have quite a few viewers at the moment, the buildings on Mars are airtight if you build them to be. So if you build like a box and close it all off and put a door and close the door on it and put an atmosphere generator inside of it, it will generate an atmosphere that's breathable. Your character can like breathe that without using its oxygen tanks or anything like that. But if you open the door, then that environment is no longer airtight, which also means, like, and it realistically models that in the sense that if you build an airlock, so you have a closed off room with a door that leads to a very small room that leads to another door, you like open one door, close it behind you, open the next one, like the atmosphere and pressure maintain. So to develop that system that on this massively multiplayer scale can oversee and manage the airtightness of every single room, of every single building. And I remember giving him that task, and he just went fucking nuts on it. Like, what I got back, he said like this was in his interview process. And I said, like, I'd pay him for the work. Like this is the amount of, like, the like, you have 2 weeks to do something, and here's what we'll pay for it. Like, I'm not asking people to work for free or anything. But then he came back after a week or two. I forget what the deadline was, and he had like 4 different ways of solving the problems that he tried. He came up with like these 4 ways to maybe do it, and he actually built out every single one and tested them all for efficiency and like trying to figure out which one actually works the best. And
See, I
that's
did
what
not
led
know
us to the
this
current
story.
system.
I
Yeah.
did not know this story. All I know is when there's a problem and you put Dennis on it, I don't worry about it.
No,
Like it'll get fixed.
Yeah. Always do Dennis fucking rocks. Like really, I'm and he also, for everyone who's like hearing about Dennis but like don't know him, any of you who have played any of the Red Alert games, the voice actor for the Kirov airship, Kirov reported. That's what Dennis sounds like. And in fact, I added a little like an emoji that is like the Kirov airship like unit icon from Red Alert 2 in the Slack. And just every time he posts like yes or like I'm on it, I just put the like Kirov reporting emoji. Let's see how's the building progress going.
Some things are missing from my camera because my character is far away. See, these are the bugs that I was talking about. Like if your camera, the free cam, is too far from your guy, some stuff don't show. But
yeah,
we have like 95% of it. It's not terrible.
Yeah. No, it's looking good. It's looking good. Oh, looks like sunset's coming. Yeah, man. People have like the Strike is such an undervalued product. Like,
yeah,
it
right.
really is. Like I stand by. Wait, where's the Strike? Can you find the Strike trailer video?
My computer's lagging to bricks.
Okay, wait. Let's see. Mars 4.
That's why I'm texting people on Mars from my phone because I can't type.
Mars 4 YouTube Strike. Here's the Strike trailer. I will. Wait, can I present? Screen share. Present. Screen share. So here is. Massive bike fan. So when he got this task.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the Strike is a hover bike. There's 3 tiers of it. I think the legendaries have already sold out probably. But in the 3D game, the Strikes are super fucking fun. Okay. Wait. I'll ruin it in a sec. Where's the tier 3? That's the tier 2. The Epic Strike, not tier 2, the Epic Strike. And then the legendary one is like red and looks fucking sick. Yeah, that's it. That's some like hardcore Ducati vibes. Hardcore Ducati.
Or Canada's bike if you're watching anime,
Yeah. No, but look, it has the the gaps next to the backrest. Like,
yeah, guess what I took them from. Yeah.
For me, it screams Ducati. I love it. It's fucking awesome. So yeah, like I think that's really undervalued. I think it's because we released this in the middle of the bear market, so like no one gave a crap. But it's such a cool vehicle. But what I was just actually noticing right now that I kind of laughed at is you can see the developer hack here. I don't know, like does anyone notice the developer hack?
Even I don't.
Warning: no fuel.
Oh, lol.
It's going pretty fucking good to not have any fuel, bro. Wait, this looks really cool. Like that dithering effect. Where was that? I like that. I've lost it now. There's like a comic book dithering. Oh yeah, that looked really cool. That looks fucking sick.
Mm-hmm.
Well done, man.
We took the engine right out of my bike and stuck it in there.
I was about to say that, but I didn't want to sound like an idiot. Wait, let me go back to sharing that, because I was saying that.
That is literally the Yamaha's CP3 engine, like tweaked a bit, of course, but it is the basic.
Yeah, that looks a lot like your engine. Your new bike, right? That's not your old bike's engine.
It's the same thing, but yeah.
Wait, is it? No, but doesn't your new bike have like a far bigger engine, or is it just bigger, more size?
It's an extra cylinder, but the side of it is the same
the
thing.
side of the same.
It's two covers that anyway.
It's fucking cool.
Why would a hover bike need a cross-plane triple?
Because it's cool. The way I look at it is this hover bike flies in much the same method that helicopters do, but opposite. Helicopters fly because they're so ugly, the earth repels them. Whereas this flies because it's so beautiful that God attracts it.
Oh my god, that's so corny, but yeah.
Oh man. So,
no, honestly, this is like my favorite vehicle. It was the Click Beetle. Now it's this. Obviously, I'm a bike fan.
The Click Beetle is also fucking awesome.
The thing is, the Click Beetle was perfect for when we released it. Now you have so many other vehicles, and the hover bike can let you fly basically.
So something really cool like this. The story of before I start the video, the story of the Click Beetle is so cool. I'll jump back to like cool background. The story of the Click Beetle vehicle is so cool because it was the first vehicle we designed, and it was just as I was getting like still like expanding the development team in the early days and like getting my friends on board. And the Click Beetle was kind of the thing that like you and Chris both joined at, because the Click Beetle was the first thing you worked on, right?
Yep.
No, I mean you worked on some of like the background art for the game concept doc. I remember like calling you up on Christmas, like, "Hey, dude, I need artwork."
Yep.
But like once we officially joined full time, I think Click Beetle was the first thing. So first thing you worked on, and also when I got Chris involved, Chris is our writer, who I've also known for like 20 years now. No, Chris I've known since before game development. I decided I wanted to get into game development at 4 o'clock in the morning, playing StarCraft with Chris, being like, wouldn't it be fucking awesome if there was like an MMO version of this? And that conversation with him made me get into game development, just like fuck it, like, and start trying to make that game. That was like fucking 14 or something. But anyway, so the Click Beetle, like you got involved in it, and then Chris did, and Chris had this awesome idea of like what the name comes from, and I'll explain it while we're watching the video. Okay, so the Click Beetle is a small kind of survival exploration vehicle. There it is. But what's specifically really cool and what the name comes from is if you look, on the back of it is a small nuclear reactor inspired there, right there, like that. That's a small nuclear reactor, and the wings open up, and that's like the thermal venting of it. It's an MMORPG, which is a multi-mission radioactive thermal generator, something like that.
Nerd.
It's the same thing that the Curiosity rover uses. And so the idea is like it's a drivable vehicle that runs that's electrically powered, that has an electric generator, that has that nuclear generator in it, which means you can also hook it up to the power grid. And that's the coolest functionality that I really like. So you can drive it around, you can charge batteries with it, and also you can park it and hook it up to the power grid and like use it to power like whatever you want to be working on, like your refiners and your crafting stations and lights and whatever. Like it's not that powerful. Like you can't power a massive base with it, but you can power like a decent small outpost kind of thing. So
it
the
basically
idea
eliminates the need to start like when you start a new base somewhere, you just bring this thing over and you have a starting point.
Or like it's a temporary kind of base thing where you're going out to like mine somewhere. So you can go there with a Click Beetle. But this also now comes into the advantage of like working together in a team. Because then like maybe you go there with a Click Beetle, and let's introduce the Shire. The downside of the Click Beetle is that it doesn't have that big of storage capacity. Shire Mars4, where's the...
Or any, really.
Yeah, it is very, very little videos. Man, we really need to update our YouTube. This is so outdated. Where's
George, the masses
share?
need iron. They're screaming for iron in chat. Get them some iron.
Oh, wait. Are the masses streaming my life for iron?
Oh my god. I
uh,
always thought that was my wife for hire, but
I remember you told me about that, like, when I was last in Greece. I forgot about that. Where's the Shire marketing video?
it's in YouTube if you look when
Oh,
one of you guys will post
I
it.
freaking look for it. Shire vehicle. Where the hell? Community managers. Can someone find the Shire promo video and share it? Oh, we have the Terrapin. That's a cool one. No, that's Terrapin, Phobos. I don't know where the fuck that is. Where the fuck the fire is. Anyway, oh, Karkana, that's a good one. Yeah. I guess I'll show Karkana. So if you're heading out like mining or something, the storage capacity. Add to stage. Oh wait, I'm sharing the wrong screen. Sorry. Just stop sharing. Share screen.
Art and Greek director. God damn it.
So if you're going out mining, the click beetle doesn't have that much storage capacity, and it only has space for one person. But like you also want to bring more people with you and have a lot more space for resources. So that's where something like the Karkanda comes in. The Karkanda specializes in transporting people and exosuits. So like it has a lot of storage capacity. Not the most storage capacity in the game in terms of inventory, but it does have the most player storage capacity slots. So you can bring the most people, fit the most people in Karkandas. So that's like how some of these vehicles work together. Like if you're a clan and you're going out mining, it may be great to have a click beetle with you. So when you get there, you can set up like a small refining plant to like refine down some of the raw iron resource or raw resources into refined versions, which take up less space. Then you can stack all of those into something like the Karkanda to be able to carry a lot more back to your base. And also you can bring more people. Sorry. And you can also bring more people with you because you can fit them in the Karkanda. And then adding to this theme, let's introduce what used to be one of my favorite vehicles. Now, like visually, now I'm on the line. I'm online. But when we started, like as we were concepting it, I fucking love this vehicle. That was the coolest one we were working on. So this is the Terrapin GPRV, and this is a scouting vehicle. Once again, it doesn't have a lot of inventory capacity. It also doesn't have a lot of crew capacity, but it has a ground penetrating radar V. Vehicle, ground penetrating radar vehicle. So if you notice on the back of the GPRV, also you see, I think this was the first vehicle we launched. Like this trailer is it's very old. It looks way cooler, even just in game right now. But yeah, so that big ass radar dome on the back of it scans the environment around and shows what resources are within the rocks around you. So in an ideal world, you would have someone driving a GPRV, for example, scanning the environment, looking for high value ores. You have someone in a click beetle setting up like temporary mining camps, and then you have your like mining team in the Karkanda able to like hop out when you find like high value resource area and mine.
Oh, Nick's drop.
I pushed the wrong.
Nick, you've done some.
Yeah.
There you go.
So you know these like fancy like multi-button mouses and stuff that like fancy, like everyone has these now. But
Oh yeah, they're beautiful. Like, you click back and you're done.
bam, stream dead. So yeah, sorry about that. I forgot the topic I was just discussing. Why do people keep messaging me?
I wonder. Maybe it has something to do with you being the detector of game development. You were talking about the use of all these vehicles together, which makes sense.
Yeah. So. Yeah.
The
So
Shire was going to be a train. Remember that?
it's still that if someone could fucking find me the marketing video for the Shire, I can't find it. It's driving me nuts.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the Shire.
I'll look on my phone.
Someone can. I'm just gonna. Yeah, I've asked everyone to try and find me the link to the Shire trailer.
Paula is messaging me, not being aware that I am in the call. It's just like we need
She's
it now.
She's the detector of marketing. Inform her that you found it. And now people calling you. Brilliant. Oh, so the Shire right now, up above George, these vehicles, these are Shires. I can't give you a cinematic marketing trailer. I can just give you the actual thing in the actual game. And here are some Tatarnas. Oh, and there's the Terrapin. So the Shires, George, can you hop in a Shire and drive around so we get like the third person view or like show it off a bit? So that like ginormous semi-truck looking thing will one day have trailers. Will one day have trailers attached to it. It's not in the immediate development plans, it's not in the roadmap, but it's something we really want to do. And well, I mean, anyone who's been following this project for a while knows that like we always go above and beyond because we fucking love what we're doing. I said on like the very first AMA with this project, they were like, well, what are you gonna bring to the experience and like to Mars4 and stuff? And I was like, I love fucking making sci-fi games. So if I can just make a sci-fi game, like I'm happy. And I think it's like everyone on the team. So yeah. I think it's everyone on the team because I always made sci-fi games. So like everyone on the team who I've worked with before also come from making sci-fi games.
This may be where it's at. I'm just looking through our Google folder, Nick. I'm just gonna.
I think that it's possible that it was never put on YouTube.
It is possible. I know I've done it.
Yeah, we made the video. Like I know we made the video. Oh, the Mad Beetles are pretty cool. I like
check
the
there.
Check
if that's the Shire/5 thing.
Where did you send it to me? Discord.
I can't open it.
Yes. Yeah. Found it. That's great. Thank you.
It's painful to do. My computer not only is it running at 5 FPS, it's also like 30 seconds delay to anything I do.
So share screen. Here we go. So this is the Shire, which we will one day add trailers to because it's so fucking cool.
I wonder what happened.
Happened to what?
To this video, like why is it not on YouTube?
I don't know. I wonder if maybe it was put on YouTube as private and then we just like forgot to set it on public or something.
Genius.
Yeah.
Like this is what happens with our time, guys. We make these things and then somewhere down the line it just somewhere.
Honestly, like a lot of people like comment about that. That like Mars4 is like the one crypto project that like crypto game. Not the one. That's probably not fair. I don't know all that. I'm sure there's like other great crypto games out there. But like we actually spend all our time and like invest all our assets and resources into like developing a really fun game, and then like on the marketing side we just forget to talk about stuff. I do that a lot. Like there's so many. I mean, just look how long this fucking AMA has been. Like how much stuff we've been sharing here. Just we're doing so much development, and like honestly, no offense, guys, it's fun to make games. It's not fun to market games. So That's at
It
least
must
a
be
lot of
fun to
our
some
time.
people.
Yeah, I'm sure it is fun to some people, but a lot of our time. I know that I should do more AMAs. I should do more like updating and informing the community on like what's going on and the development going on. But I try to figure that if I just like put it in the game and people play it, like that's enough. But unfortunately, like a lot of that stuff gets lost. Man, seeing the difference between our videos, like the Shire is also quite an old video. But it's not that old, I guess. But like you compare that to the like what we did with the Shrike video is
Yeah.
so sexy. Yeah, so the Shire is a massive, like heavy hauling vehicle for hauling inventory capacity. It has the largest inventory of any vehicle, and that won't change. And when we add in trailers, whenever that's going to happen, that will make it even more so. The one I would really like there's two trailers that I would really like to add to it, like at least to start with. The first one, fairly simply, is like just extra cargo space. Cool. But the second one, I would really like to have like a small portable like living environment thing, you know, like a little tiny mobile base. Like maybe it's something the players can even build on. Like it's a trailer that's just 2x3 foundations, and players can build walls in it. They move like the respawn bed in it. They do whatever the fuck they want, and just build it on that platform. I think that would be really really cool. I'd like to do that.
Or we can make a fucking land crawler like from Star Wars and just have your mobile base in it.
Yeah, I think that would be good.
It's one of my favorite features from Subnautica. Like you have that like huge ass submarine that you can fit your entire base in it.
Yeah, I do really want to add something like that. I don't know. I'm a big fan of like mobile bases. I'm just like that's the most fun I've had in most base builder games.
Switch to the thing now. It's Sunrise.
Oh. Sunrise is so fucking beautiful.
Beautiful.
It is really nice. We do need to add the lampposts and stuff, though. You are totally right about that.
Yeah. I mean, they've been they're done. We just need to put them in the game.
Yeah. We'll do that pretty soon. We will do that pretty soon. You know, one thing I'm not sure, like I'm wondering like what's the community's reaction on this? What's the community's opinion on this? Is what is like the brain fart. The respawn beds, like in the bottom right, the cryo beds, they have like this bluish sheen on them. And I don't know, I'm not crazy about that. But I can understand like the good UX rationale for it. I don't know. I'd be curious like what the community thinks about that. Just for the realism side, I'm not a fan. But goddamn, that looks nice. Anyway, oh wow, we've been doing this whole AMA. I haven't actually been getting to people's questions. Lol.
I was about to ask, like, why is this called an AMA or not just Nick talking?
Well, I think people are maybe asking questions in Telegram, not Telegram. Sorry. X.
Oh God.
Not to be confused with XXX. So wait, let me see the question segment. And unfortunately, guys, like if you're asking questions on X, I don't see them here in my streaming software. So it would probably be useful if you guys should join our Discord or Telegram and post your questions there, and I will get to them. But let me jump into some of the questions. How many types of weapons will there be? How many types of weapons and types for each type? So as I discussed earlier on, there will be 5 base types of weapons, which is pistol, SMG, assault rifle, shotgun, and sniper rifle. And then there will be 3 tiers of each, and these are the generic weapons. So 15 generic weapons. And then there will be legendary unique weapons, like the 2 legendary unique weapons that the Titan Mark II Warforged can produce. So that the legendary crafted robot, legendary NFT crafted robot, Titan Mark II Warforged, it can craft 2 unique weapons that no other robot can craft. And how many unique weapons there will be, unknown. Like, it's undecided at this point, but we will probably add a few more. But obviously, each one will be unique in its utility and function, so they're not like stepping over each other. And in the future, we may add different categories of weapons, such as grenade launchers, rocket launchers, stuff like that. But that's not immediately in development. Basically, everything I've talked about on this stream is stuff that's immediately like in development, launching soon, kind of stuff. Except for the 2 things that I pointed out that weren't that. Like the trailer on the Shire is not in development, but we really want to do it, so it'll probably happen at some point. And the what was the other thing? I mentioned something else. Don't remember what it was. But yeah, basically everything I've been discussing is to be launching in the next like month or 2. Will there be EMP weapons? That's a cool idea that I hadn't even considered. And it could be kind of cool because we have like a really complex electrical grid. So I don't know. I think that's a question for the community. Like, how would you imagine EMP weapons working? And like, would you like the idea? That's something
We
like.
had discussed EMP weapons as a means to stun robots.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Technically, from that perspective, we do have EMP weapons, and they're used to stun the robots. But I prefer like it's more of a giant USB stick than an EMP. Just flash BIOS, aggressively flash BIOS. There needs to be memes. We need to make memes. When we introduce the robot capturing and repairing, there need to be memes about capturing robots as like aggressively flash BIOS.
Windows update.
Yeah, which is Windows update. What types of weapons will there be? Bullets, lasers, other types. So tier 1 weapons are projectile based, like bullet railgun kind of thing. Tier 2 upgrade to railguns, and tier 3 are Gauss rifle style, like still projectile based weaponry. There will be some like energy based weapons, but primarily they're sci-fi projectile based systems. Because with far less air resistance on Mars, like projectile weapons get way better. Less gravity, less air resistance makes like bullets ridiculously better. Will there be a possibility of upgrading weapons? On launch of the weapon system, no. It is something we're discussing. We do have upgrading weapons in the sense of the unique weapons, which are better than the base weapons, based on like the Titan Mark II Warforged. However, it's not we don't have a direct weapon upgrade system in development. I'm not against the idea. I do like the idea, but as I said, I don't like. We don't really hype stuff that we're not like actively developing and implementing, and the players will be able to play with soon. Because, well, I don't know. I come from a different industry. I come from like normal game development. I don't know what you're like. Yeah, so like, there's not much point in like hyping people about something that's a year out. Like we talk about stuff that'll be out soon because there's lots of stuff going on that will be out soon. So we also have, if I have access to my land in multiplayer mode, can I set it up so that I don't have access to guns there? So yes, on your own personal lands, you'll be able to set the server rules, and the rules other players have to abide by. So you could set it to be like a PvE only environment where players can't shoot and kill each other. That's up to the landowner. Can these weapons be sold or rented, or both? Not rented, but sold. Weapons are, in a sense, a consumable because, like, you can lose them, you can die, stuff like that. So it's expected that there will be a regular churn of weapons, and they can be sold and traded as soon as the system goes live with the existing Mars4 resource marketplace. So the resource marketplace will gain dramatically more content that can be tradable there the moment that crafting on the MCC is launched, which will be over the next couple days. As I said, it's just in the final stages of balance testing now. Will we be able to rent robots so other players can craft? We're still discussing this right now because the current system we have for rented vehicles doesn't really fit with robots well. Because the way renting works right now is you rent for a task, as you guys know. If you want to explore resources on your land or mine on your land on the MCC, you can rent someone else's vehicle and do so. That's also like for new people, if you own a land or if you're buying a land right now on this huge discount sale, even if you don't own any of the vehicles, you can quite cheaply rent a vehicle from another player and explore and then mine your land with that and use those resources to go straight into crafting stuff with the new robots on the MCC. What was the question though? Oh, we'll be able to rent robots. Yeah. So unknown yet. We are looking into it. It's something I would like to be able to support. However, there's like a lot of technical edge cases that I'm not really happy with. So if we can come up with a good solution on how we would implement that, then it's definitely something we'd like to do. But no guarantees at the moment. Will these weapons be blueprints? No, the weapons are actual like physical tradable items that you use and stuff like that. So the robot, you can consider it as that the robots themselves hold the blueprint of the weapon, and using those robots and resources, you craft the different kinds of weapons. And that's why like the Titan Mark II Warforged NFT robot, like it has access to those 2 legendary weapon blueprints, like those 2 unique blueprints that no other robot has access to and can craft. Will there be special weapons that require blueprints or in-game blueprints based on which weapons can craft using resources? Yes, but as just mentioned, like the robots themselves are effectively the blueprints in this case. Like a robot holds a series of weapon blueprints, and legendary ones, NFT robots normally hold a few extra blueprints, a few unique ones. Will there be automatic turrets to protect your base? At the moment, no. As I mentioned earlier on in the stream, what we're looking at doing is we'll introduce some other categories of robots which are specifically combat focused. So they won't be used in any crafting, they won't hold any recipes, but you can assign them to guard locations. So you can like set them up and be like door guards on your base, and you can set them to attack anything that attacks you first, or anything that's not your clan, or whatever. You can also, like, in your vault room, you could set up a few of those just to attack anything that is hostile, etc. How about the ability for several groups of people to be able to unite without being in the same alliance, and also choose the color of the alliance so that everyone gets crosshair highlighted so you know that they're from your team or the enemy team? Additionally, friendly fire. Just friendly fire. He's not saying like yes friendly fire, no friendly fire, just friendly fire.
There is no such thing as friendly fire. It's just fire, man.
Yeah,
Bullets out of the gun.
Not only that, anyone who you're shooting at is no longer your friend.
Yeah. He's no longer anyone's friend if you go that far.
So we are looking at like kind of a dynamic like squad system, so you can squad up with people even if you're in different clans. For people who don't know, like on the MCC, you can join different clans, and by doing so, you get like rewards based on how your clan's ranking in the leaderboard, and you also get it unlocks a series of buildable things. For example, there's like a clan inventory, which is a special inventory chest that only clans can access. If you're in a clan, you can use each other's vehicles, stuff like that. So we are looking at adding a squad system so you can squad up with other players, even if you're not in the same clan. However, that's still in the fairly early stages of development because there's like, it's a pain in the ass, to put it frankly.
Yeah.
So we're still looking at that. Like, it's something obviously we would like to add and that we need, but we don't have a solution to yet. However, HUD information of who your clan members are, that's something we'll be adding in fairly soon. So you'll be able to see who your clan members are, so you don't shoot them accidentally. We don't plan on removing friendly fire though. Just don't shoot them. Like at that point, if you're shooting them, like that's not our problem. We'll see if the community does still want friendly fire. We can add that, but especially once we start introducing explosives, I'm very much in favor of leaving friendly fire off, and it's up to the users to not shoot each other's allies. That's part of the skill, if you will, of the game. It's a pretty awesome tower George is building.
Too bad it's not visible.
Isn't it? No, it is.
It's outside the
Oh
camera.
yeah, it's just outside. Yeah, it's outside of the render range. We did look into that. I put Dennis on this task to look into it, and he said that it's. What I was hoping to do is if we could have the free cam specifically, so like this camera perspective, to be able to have like a far longer render range. And render range is used for server optimization, so the server actually controls the render ranges and stuff, obviously. But that means that like having a different view mode for the user that has different render ranges was not really an option.
Yeah, and it's also, I think, again, my mistake here was I left my character
A bit too far
I
away.
should have, yeah,
Like gotten in the middle of it. Yeah.
well.
When will it be possible to play online with our lands with our friends? I don't have an exact date yet, but pretty soon. After we finish these crafting and overhauls and like the introduction of the robots and all that, which currently I'm aiming like over the next 2 months. In like, as you guys know, like we put out a patch every 2 weeks roughly, and over the next 2 months in that series of patches, we will be we'll be introducing all these features. And once that's done, I want to get players playing on each other's lands with your friends. So I don't have an exact date for that. It's in the roadmap, and like we're almost always ahead of schedule on the roadmap. But yeah, I'd say like just between you and me and the other 300 people here, I don't know, maybe 2.5 months. If I can get it done earlier, if we can sneak something in, cool. But before I push too hard on that, there's still a lot of elements of the map generation. So like, as you guys know, like you can launch a the land NFTs that you own, like for people who are kind of new to the project, the land NFTs that you own are realistic 40 by 40 kilometer square plots of land on Mars, and you can play on that plot of land in the 3D game, like with NASA generated data of like hills and craters and stuff like that. So the land that you bought, like what it looks like in the little like NASA thumbnail, is what it actually looks like. You can walk around it for like many hours, as it's fucking massive.
Yeah,
and
we spent a lot of time developing that.
So that took so long. Like I think I can't say it confidently, but I think it may be fair to say that there's like a Guinness Book of World Record in there of like largest map of a game or something like that that's not 3D scanned, because you have like Microsoft Flight Simulator, which has the whole globe, but it's all just 3D satellite data.
Yeah,
like pure data. Whereas like we had to take data and then generate maps, like high detailed, like maps you can walk around in first person. So like maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's the largest map ever that like you can walk around in third person on. Like I don't know, but I'm pretty sure there is some world record in there, because that was a fucking massive task. And at every point in that task, we're like, oh fuck, here's a problem. Let's see if anyone else has encountered it, so we can see how they solved it. And nope, just fucking nothing. No one's ever done it. Like, god damn it.
Because again, with Microsoft Flight Simulator, you have all of the Earth's data from all the satellites, all the stuff, and then you can like do a bunch of stuff. With Mars, you have these pictures, right? I mean, I'm sure NASA has more things maybe that they don't have released to the public, but all we had to do, what we had to work with, were these like super kind of low resolution pictures, and then we had to like extract topographical data, like heights and depths from that, and then figure out how to generate it and put sections that an engine, a game engine, will not break by processing, and having you guys not download like a 7,000 terabytes game.
Yeah, because that's another problem. Like there's 100,000, like just under 100,000 lands on Mars. If every land we were able to make 10 megabytes.
Yeah, I remember.
Let me just calculate. 100. Megabytes. So each land was 100,000. So let's do.
So while he's doing these calculations, let me tell you this. Like, you know, Star Citizen and all these other games have these planets, right? And you can fly in these planets, and you can like fly around them, and you see all these beautiful landscapes. Well, all those beautiful landscapes are, what do you call it? Procedurally generated. You know that buzzword, right? Which means that the computer doesn't actually take space, because the computer knows where it is, and then it just generates textures on it. What we're doing is actually crafting Mars. Like it, we could have cheated, is what I'm trying to say, and gotten out of it, but we didn't.
Yeah.
It would be very easy to cheat and not have like a realistic representation of Mars.
Oh yeah. So I checked it out. So if every map was 10 megabytes, which is tiny for an Unreal Engine map, like if you just use a default Unreal Engine generated landscape that's 40 by 40 kilometers, it's like half a gigabyte. But let's say we somehow manage to make half a gigabyte down to 10 megabytes, it would still be 1,000 gigabytes just in maps. Like imagine downloading a game.
Imagine running it.
Yeah, so we couldn't do that. So we had to come up with a way. What we finally did, which is actually really cool, the MCC developers have a backend which has all the Mars height data from NASA, just as simple, just like lists of numbers. So like coordinates with
topographical data.
Yeah, topographical data. So like you imagine the map is like it's a grid of, I think it's like 500 points by 500 points around there of like this point, this height, this point, this height, this point, this height, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Sunset. Yeah, so we take that data and then we generate like a 3D mesh of that environment. And then based on that 3D mesh, like the angle of the hills and the rocks and stuff like that, we use, what do you call it? We generate and scatter all the rocks and environment assets and stuff like that. So that like steeper cliffs have like different kinds of rock formations, flat valleys have different kinds of things, and trying to regenerate and how Mars actually looks with data that we don't have. So that was a massive task. Anyway, that whole rambling started because someone was asking when we'll be releasing those custom generated land NFTs that people own, like when they'll be able to play on those lands with their friends. And I'm not rushing that because I'd like to make some more improvements to the land generation algorithms and like how that's done before we like really push hard on everyone getting their friends in and playing on their lands together. Can we get 2 stacks of iron? Max needs iron. Man. I think that covers the questions here. Now let's check Discord. I see like 9
There's a
pings
couple
on Discord.
in the stream thing as well from YouTube.
Okay.
It looks like.
Oh yeah, I see. Game assets are too good. Keep developing more vehicles, robots, and lots of shooting related stuff. Will do, man.
That's a good question.
Yeah, very good question. The answer is yes. Okay. Inquire about the development of the Chinese version of the game. So we, at the moment, as we're still like in the middle of development, or in the middle, like we're fairly near the end at this point, honestly. But we haven't focused on localization in different languages because it just complicates every release of the game. And as we're still like writing names of stuff and adding in new crafting recipes, every time they change, having to need to change all the localization is a huge pain in the ass. But we will be localizing. What?
And also we are stupid.
There's also that, but we try not.
We're not doing it in an efficient way.
Yeah.
To...
See, that's another like problem with the way Web3 games normally work is that, like, not a problem, but it's really cool, but it's a double-edged sword. So in Web3 games, at least the way we're approaching it, we're building the game with the community. So like the moment we have something working, we give it to the community, and the community is playing it live, and they're giving us feedback, and we're developing the next steps. But what that means is that we're developing a game and operating like a live service game at the same time. And that makes like development a lot more complicated. Like, for example, right now we have crafting in the game. We've had crafting in the game for fucking ages, but it's not the final crafting system. But we needed to include some mining and crafting system so people could use the building functionality. So like if we were doing it like traditional Web 2 style, where it's all just happening behind closed doors, then we would never have that interim crafting system that we built. We would just leave it. And then once the final crafting system was done, then we introduce it, and the players get like the whole package all together, all working, stuff like that. So that's the downside. The upside, though, is that every feature we put in, like the moment it's done, we're getting the community's feedback and stuff on. So that like it is awesome at the same time, but it does mean that dealing with stuff like localization becomes kind of unmanageable. On that note, Mac build, the Mac version of the game, it's live and on the website. It's not official yet because we'd like to get a bit more playtesting in, but anyone who does have a Mac who's been waiting for the Mac build, or if you know anyone who's been waiting for the Mac build, you can tell them right now if you go to the website and download the Mac build, like that is the latest version. You can join multiplayer, PvP, everything. And that's all like cross-compatible with the Windows version. So that's all good and working. Oh wait, let me check. AMA questions. AMA questions. Someone asked, why is their land not so bright as in the video in our stream? I'm not sure. Are you referring to your personal land or multiplayer? Multiplayer should look exactly like this. Like this is just the multiplayer version, like just the live server. But no, I think we're on the dev server right now. Same version of the game. But your custom land, like your generated land NFT, that is, I believe, still using an older lighting setup, which will be updated to this one soon. But as I said, there's more work I want to do on the lands. And okay. How do you say hello everyone in Martian? We need to learn a new language. That's actually a good point. Like, oh, that reminds me of what's it called? The Expanse. Like Belter speak. Yeah. Belter speak is fucking awesome.
Beltawalda. Isn't it basically
it's South African mining language.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah. Because I knew people. I knew people who spoke that. It's actually really fucking cool because it works. Like it's a combination of 12 languages, but it doesn't, like, even if you only speak English or like English and Afrikaans, you can understand what they're saying perfectly because it's like, even if you look at someone, they're speaking a language you totally don't understand, you can only make out some of it based on gestures. And then if you mix in like every 8th to 10th word is a word you know, you can actually get most of the like topic or the content. And it's so fucking.
All I know is your Mars4. That's the only one I know.
Dude, like
from my good friend Marcel in FCD.
Dude, swearing in Afrikaans is Afrikaans is a fucking beautiful language. It really is. Someone else asked, any flying vehicles in the future? So we have the Shrike, we have the jet bike, which has flown past the screen a few times already. However, full-on flying vehicles like airplanes and helicopters, we do have some plans for them. We do want to add them, but they're not immediately in development. So probably, but I don't And as you guys know, like I don't say something's going to be coming unless like we're actually in the middle of developing it right now.
Yeah,
So
we
it's not
actually
that
had a
kind of rush.
motorcycle, like a proper two-wheeled motorcycle. But now that you have the Shrike, there isn't really much point to a motorcycle other than,
Yeah.
hey, look, a
I
motorcycle.
think I think the I think the dirt bike will come back into play once we finish the crafting system and start introducing some vehicles that are non-NFTs, like just for general
That's good.
gamers to be able to craft and stuff. So I think I foresee the dirt bike will probably turn into our like bicycle, like Rust style bicycle. Like
Yeah,
everyone's able
I
to
have a
kind of
really good
craft it
idea
and
with
drive
it, with
around.
like fully round wheels. So
That would be cool.
it could go like it'll look a lot different than bikes on Earth. That's for sure.
We also have some questions about the new token. What exchange can you buy a shoot token on? I don't think it's live on any exchanges yet, but I think it is. It's still on some launch pads now. Just outside of my department though. But if you check our Twitter, I'm sure there's links there to all the launch pads that it's on. I believe the community round ended it on already, but not sure. Check the Twitter and you'll see the links to the launch pads that are on. And will the shoot token be available on the KuCoin exchange? I'm not sure once again. I know that I think that there is like some exchanges that were already like set up on, but like in negotiations with or have closed. But once again, outside of my department, I just hear shit in the office.
Yep.
I drink and hear shit and detect game development.
Detect.
This is game development.
I wish I was smart enough to understand these tokens.
It is an art form, a science and an art form.
I would probably be a lot richer if I understood these tokens.
Oh, dude. But honestly, like one of my favorite pastimes is looking at like Wall Street bets memes. Those shit. Oh my god, that is comedy fucking gold. I think in general, like trading memes are the best memes because it's just the point of like utter just soul destroying shit that happens that like you reach a point that you have nothing to do but just laugh about it. Like one of my favorite an expression I just learned recently for like an industry trader, like for someone who works at a bank or something, is what they do is they lose money professionally. That's just fucking awesome.
I think I'll stop the recording now. We've got a lot of footage, and I think at some point it's going to be impractical, the size of it.
Sounds good. I'll hop back over to George for a bit then.
Yep.
I don't want to end the stream. Like we have like over 300 people here hanging out. Like I would like to chat some more with you guys, but at the same time, it is. Oh, we're developers. We're not social people. This is the maximum I think of social energy we have to put into something. If, however, you guys have any other questions, comments, whatever, you can always find us on Discord, especially myself. If you have any questions, whatever, you can ping, and I'm normally happy to answer them. And yeah, thank you guys so much for joining, and I look forward to
my screen for a second though. Let's end it on this.
Which is your screen? I just did.
There.
Oh, okay, yeah, cool.
This is how it starts.
This is the building that we've been showing through this whole stream.
I'm just pressing through it just to show.
Well, we can hear. Dude, that's so fucking awesome.
All right. At least it didn't get destroyed this time. My soul will survive. Nighttime's not that interesting, but it's something. Yep. This is the stuff we can do in our game right now.
Oh, dude, the sunrise is fucking amazing.
Oh.
I also love the solar panels, how they like actually track the sun. Looks so cool. Once again, Dennis.
Yeah. I think this is where the dropship started appearing. Anyway, yep.
That does look fucking awesome, man. What a way to end it. Great fucking stream, guys. Thank you so much for everyone joining us. Join our communities. I don't know, chat shit about Mars. Stuff. Thank you guys so much for joining us, and we'll be doing more AMAs. As you guys see, there's a lot of stuff going on in Mars4 right now, and we have a lot of stuff to talk about. And it is wait, did everyone? Did George also? Everyone fucking stopped streaming the game while I still haven't finished. So I randomly seeing people's desktops and shit. I will. Wait. I will end it with a really cool video.